Hi, and welcome back. Today I'm here to show the Alice in Wonderland journal that I'm making for a swap on Junk Journal Junkies. This is Alice in Wonderland. I've had the journal itself done for a little while. I just had to wait until I had the ambition to sculpt the white rabbit clip that I wanted to make for the front of it. And the unclip hem. I've always loved the white rabbit. So this is the white rabbit head that I put it on like an alligator clip so it can hang off the journal or pretty much anywhere. And then he just has a tag on his back that says, "I'm late." And Arlene, if you're watching, recognize the trim. You sent that to me in the last swap, and I appreciate it. So there's the white rabbit. And that's just a dangle for the journal. And this is the journal itself. I've made it out of a manila file folder. I have you kind of close, but I couldn't figure out how else to do this. I made a dangle for it. It has a bead cap, cone cap, and it's got some fibers and some beads and some acrylic flowers. And my clock is chiming, sorry. And there's a key for the door and a crown and a flower for the garden. And I made this with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and the closure is a ribbon. So let's go inside. Let's see, so that's the kind of the front of the journal, because there's a 3-hole pamphlet stitch here too. So as in all things Alice in Wonderland, it's not what it appears. And this is the pocket on the front, and I made some tag embellishments for the front of it. And this says, "Imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality." And then there's a tag. This is a pocket, and on the back it says, "The hurrieder I go, the more behind her I get." And there's a tag that goes inside that little pocket. And then this tag, and then there's this journaling card, and it's kind of the beginning before Alice goes into the rabbit hole. I'll put these down, I'll do those later. So you open it up, and there's a small flip out area that's a couple of more quotes from the book. And then this is just blank pages, kind of skeleton journal for the front. And then the actual front of the book is where Alice is standing under the tree talking to the Cheshire Cat, asking which way she should go. And over here, I just wrote the quote that every adventure requires a first step. So that's the front of the journal. And there's pom-pom trim and some lace and some rickrack. So we go inside, open the cover, and here we have more color. It has a flip journal spot, and that's a Santoro design that she says, "Drink me," and this is the Alice stamp set. And then it's actually a card tuck facing a tuck spot facing down, and there's some more tags. Alice at the door, and then this is just a journaling spot, and then there's a tag with the white rabbit looking at his watch. And then Here's the first page of the signature, and it just says, "Go Ask Alice." You open it, and there's a tag there with another quote and a couple of more tags. And then here's a short journal page, and on the inside of that, there's a sparkly flower, and you open that up, and there's a little stamping of the white rabbit, and there's some red hearts in the fold, and then here is the Queen of Hearts crown on a red dangle, and here's the Queen of Hearts herself saying, "Off with her head." Actually, it's off with their heads. And then here we go into Tea Party, and the next page shows the Mad Hatter, and he has his teapot, and there's a tag that says, "A very merry unbirthday to you," and that's the tea set tag topper, which is a die, and I don't have a tag in there, but there's actually a little, you can tuck something in there if you wanted to. And then the picture behind it, which is a little blurry, is just Alice at the tea party. And there's a tag with a Cheshire Cat, and that's a doily tuck and Alice thinking, fiber shedding. And then there's the back side of the doily, and that's a butterfly punch. And this is just a tag with Alice. And then there is a multicolored tag here. And on the back of that floral tag is a playing card. And then the next page is a piece of scrapbook paper. And here's a little stamp with the word "believe." And there's a folded page where you could do some hidden journaling. It's just got a little daisy trim on it, and it's blank inside. And here's a copy of the picture from the front of the journal. Also blank space to write on. And then we have a blank page, and this is the like rice paper. And there's Alice up at the corner with her bottle that says, "Drink me." And there's just a quote down at the bottom, "If I were queen, everything would be different." And then on the next page, there's a pocket. I did some sewing in the corner, and it's got a bunch of tags in it. Got a tag, and in there, inside this tag is, put that down for a second, is another spot that's just some writing space, and behind in the pocket there's just a little tag that has a red heart on it, and that just slides back inside that tag. And here's another Santoro paper. This is the Mad Hatter, and it's a journaling spot. And then there's some stamping, there's some mushrooms. And here's another quote. It says, "Either the well was very deep, or she fell very slowly, for she had plenty of time as she went down to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen next." And then there's another quote with Alice with one of the Queen's croquet mallets and a little hedgehog. And that's "If I had a world of my own" quote. And then inside that pocket, there's, this is from the Tim Burton movie, I think, with the white rabbit in the garden. And there's a teapot and some teacups and a crown. And then there's another white rabbit. And here's some more of this scrapbooking paper. And that's just some stamping. And then there's the picture of the Disney White Rabbit, and it says, "No wonder you're late. Why, this watch is exactly 2 days slow." And there's a stamp of a key. And then this is the center of the signature, and this is an envelope I made. And it says, "She generally gave herself very good advice, though she rarely ever followed it." And then there's a pocket, and it has a flower on it, a handmade flower. And inside there's just some more of these bits, and it says, "Stay curious." And there's a couple of images of Alice. My daughter likes the image I found that I put on the inside of the envelope, and it's kind of a dark, colorful picture with the Cheshire Cat in the tree again, talking to Alice. These actually fit in there very nicely, but I have a hard time doing it when I'm trying to rush and get and show everything. Tuck that back in. There it goes. And then there's some more journaling page. And then this is just a clip I made of the White Rabbit. And he's got some more of that fiber on top. And another journaling page, and then there's one of Alice down at the bottom sitting on the floor after she drank from the bottle. And there's a piece of scrapbook paper with clocks and more journaling pages. And here is a corner flip up journaling spot for some secret journaling, and it just says "Down the Rabbit Hole," and it just says "Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear." And there's the White Rabbit again. And no, the adventure first, explanations take such a dreadful time. And then this tag is the Mad Hatter chatter. And I turn the page, and it's another journaling page, and then there's another tuck spot pocket that I did some more sewing around, and it's a kind of collage of the clock and the Mad Hatter's hat and the Cheshire Cat. And then there's tags, "Curiouser and Curiouser," and "We're all mad here." And then it's just more journaling pages. And that's "Everything's got a moral. If everything's got a moral, if only you can find it." And some more journaling paper. And then a couple of more quotes. This one's about beginning at the beginning and go on until you come to the end, then stop. And then over here it says, "Well, I believed, up to 6 impossible things before breakfast." And then there's more journaling. And then here's another text spot that says "Curiouser and Curiouser," and a couple of more tags. This one has a tea time picture on it and some embellishment. And then this one is playing cards. And then here's a paper clip with a diva heart dangle that's on a lobster claw clasp. And it just says "Off with her head." And then on the back of the paper clip, there's just this is like a Tim Burton one too, with the Cheshire Cat and Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And then there's just a spiraling arrow, and that's the end of the signature. And then on the back, inside back cover, I have a belly band, and that just says, "In another moment down went Alice after it, never once considering how in the world she was to get out again." And then inside the belly band, I have a pocket, and it's the Queen of Hearts playing croquet with just a little trim. And then there's Alice talking to the White Queen. And then this is just a blue tag. And then this is the pocket that just has some ribbon around the bottom of it, which creates the tuck spot on the front. Butterfly and a flower. And inside there's a journaling spot, and it's Alice that just says, and it says, "Oh dear, everything is so confusing." And then all of that just goes back together. The tags go back in the tuck spot of the envelope. And then it just tucks back under the belly band. And then on the back of the journal is a big pocket, and it just says, "We're all mad here." And then inside this pocket, that's all I'm grabbing, are more tags. And this is Alice floating down that river of tears with the dormouse. And here's Alice. And yet another image of Alice. And that one has some paper on the back of it. And I've done some punching throughout the journal, and I had a lot of fun doing this. This is one of my family's favorite stories. Next time we go to Disney, my granddaughter has a bunch of Alice stuff that she's planning on wearing there. And I'll put this back in the pocket after. But I hope that you've enjoyed my journal that I made for this swap. I hope whoever I get partnered with likes it. I had a great time putting this together. I especially enjoyed making the white rabbit charm to clip on the front of it, because like I said, this is one of my favorite things, is the white rabbit. So I hope that you enjoyed my journal. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe. If you liked my video, please press like, and I will see you in the next one. Have a very colorful day. Bye.